Really neat information tonight. You know, I've been doing the assignments, but I've been one step ahead of you guys. I did this week's assignment of the, well, you guys probably knew this too. I am one with the universe is one with me, I and the universe are one. And this is about a message from the Creator. And I was so fortunate this morning. I had a really interesting experience, and I'll talk about that a little later. But thank you again for all of you joining. I'm very happy that we're all here. Let's see, is that working? Okay, yes it is. So we're in good shape. We're going to go ahead and start. I'm going to do the sharing to begin with. And let's see, usually it's down there, there's share. Okay, we're gonna share and start from the beginning. Okay. So here we are, another weekend. This is the last weekend, and thank you again for being here. We're going to move on to the next slide. Now, the love message from the Creator. Christ consciousness is the highest expression of love. When manifested into our material world, it is the same experience as attaining conscious freedom. And this is our highest purpose during the ascension cycle that is happening on planet Earth at this time. Saint Germain took me to this scripture in Matthew 22:37 through 40. Jesus said to them, "Ye shall love the Lord thy God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and great commandment." Now, if you think about this, where is the God within us? It's within us. So we need to honor the Lord our God, or the mighty I Am Presence, which is the spark created from God that is our greater self. So the mighty I Am Presence is who we shall love, and who is that? That is ourselves. And the second commandment likewise is this: ye shall love your neighbor as you love yourself. Now, I find it interesting. This is an interpretation that was given to me by Saint Germain. He says you've got to love yourself and you got to love your neighbor. And so the whole law and the prophets depend on these two commandments. So we need to honor ourselves, honor our neighbors, take good care of ourselves, take good care of our neighbors. And this is a message that they wanted me to give you. Now, the Creator is love. And he basically said to me, I created the universe for my creations because of my love. The greatest creation is the souls of my children, which in the beginning were pure and holy, filled with the light of Christ. And we were spirits. We didn't have bodies back then. These souls have lived for millennia or billions of years. In the heavens, they started wanting more autonomy and experiences outside from the heavens. And that was us, believe it or not. So because of my love for the creations, the Creator said, I am creating more dimensions, space, time, universes, room to grow, experience, create other souls, animals, plants, worlds without end to inhabit and continue with that growth. Love in the beginning was not forgotten, and the worlds were filled with love consciousness. So it was a very pristine, peaceful, loving universe. Now, then the creation started to create their own life. Now, I read a really interesting book called The Red Lion, and in that book, it talks about how the man who started attaining abilities to create other things took an inanimate object off of his mantle and gave it life and taught this creation, and eventually the creation tried to take over the creator. And that's what happens. Life was given to inanimate objects and given life and choice. These animals were given life and choice. Some of the creations became independent from the creator, moving away from the love consciousness, the reptilians, into self-awareness, the serpents, selfishness, and ultimately destructive behaviors, abuse, and taking charge of life and death. So our creations, and now this wasn't creations of God, this was creations of us. We started creating different things and giving them knowledge, giving them life, giving them authority and power, because we had those things. And then what happened was some of these creations learned from us and our bad behavior, and then the masters became the slaves. So now is the scheduled event of human evolution, and it's actually been put off. It was supposed to happen in 2012, but it was put off because the humans on this planet were not ready. So it's quite interesting. Now's the time to come back to the Creator and receive love consciousness back into the creations of God. And you can see what's happening. All the people with the power, all the people with this knowledge about this earth that don't want to lose their power are doing their best to keep us enslaved, to keep us from knowing the truth. Now, the Creator said, I am that love consciousness. I will help you to ascend. All of creation, except for your creations, is waiting for you to move back into the love consciousness. Yes, my darlings, you will continue to grow and expand your awareness as you move into higher dimensions. As you move forward toward the light and love, your burdens will become light. Your minds will become one with the Creator, and you will participate with the higher creations in the higher dimensions, moving back into love consciousness with joy, peace, bliss, and happiness. All that I require is you love yourselves and each other as I have always loved you. Now, this was the message I got from the Creator this week. I will always be with you. I will always love you, even if you choose not to return to the love consciousness during this cycle of evolution and change. It is all because of my love for you that this is happening and was predetermined. So, the love message from the Creator, and I'm not going to go into questions quite yet because I'm going to give another message that I received this morning. Now, as you know, I've been studying Joe Dispenza's stuff with my wife, and he talks about making a symbol, and I described this a week ago. And the symbol, he puts little lines, squiggly lines around it, which are emotions that you're supposed to add, and these are supposed to be higher emotions that you add to the symbol that you put up. And literally, I had a symbol for P for perfect pancreas and perfecting my body and giving myself, new teeth. These are the things I'm creating at this time. Now, I know my teeth are being recreated. I've got a good friend who said, yes, we put tooth buds where your previous teeth were. Now, tooth buds are the little embryonic areas that start teeth. And when a fetus is growing, these tooth buds start forming teeth while in utero. And some kids are born with teeth. Some kids, it takes them a year to get their teeth. But we all form teeth from these tooth buds. And he told me, you've got a tooth bud forming, just continue to pray and visualize your teeth growing, and looking at this holographic image that John Lopez made. He's smarty, and he has a whole bunch of these holographic images that help you heal certain things, and one of them helps you regrow teeth and whiten your teeth. And so I've been using that and looking at it, but I basically wrote down a P with some circles, kind of squiggly lines around it, like Joe Dispenza teaches. And when you go to the void, you visualize these and look at them. So that's what I've been doing. Now, as I've done this, usually I just go to the void and then I put that out there, and then I literally project into the void my desires to have a healthy, strong body so I can travel and speak to people and teach about the ascension, because that's my job right now. And so when I'm in the void, I do that. Well, this morning, when I was doing the meditation, I went to put that P up there, and I had another one with an A for abundance, and I looked at the P, and all of a sudden, the P started shining really brightly. And then, as I put the higher emotions around the P, I saw this sacred geometry start encircling the P, and it kept going and going. As long as I kept my attention on the higher emotion, which I chose love consciousness, because that is the highest thing you can do. And that love consciousness, as long as I held that emotion, that high emotion, it kept circling and making the circle around that P. And then when I got a little distracted, it just ignited and totally blew out into the universe that energy. Now, that's how we create things. Now, that energy goes out into the universe, and with electromagnetic energy and God's own will, it will become physical in the third dimension. It first creates in the higher dimensions, and then it circulates on down. Now, when I went back in and started doing the abundance thing, the same thing happened. I put out the A, which was the symbol, and then I started putting the love. And the love, when I first put it on, it looks like golden white light, because that's what I've been taught is God's energy. So I used that unconditional love, and as I did it, this golden white light formed sacred geometry around the A, kept going, and then when I stopped, it blew out into the universe. Now this is how the Creator wants us to create. Create in the love consciousness and put out there what we desire. Now, we have to be aware that those desires are in congruence with the love consciousness, and these things are. The Creator desires for all of us to have love consciousness, have abundance, have happiness, peace, and joy. And as we manifest these things, and even perfected bodies, believe it or not, we can perfect our bodies before we even go through the ascension. So then what I realized is, as I was still in this meditative state, there are societies out there and people who have symbols for words. The Chinese have literally thousands and thousands of symbols for words. And you can use those symbols to create and put the love consciousness around, or any high emotion, happiness, joy, compassion. All of these things are higher emotions that can help us create. But the highest emotion, according to what happened this morning, is the love consciousness from God. And we create that by drawing it into our hearts and then letting it surround our symbol that we've made. And you don't have to use English symbols. When we were in Israel, we had a guy who had a horn, and he blew the energy of the symbol for the Alpha. And as he blew it into this horn, it vibrated the sound, and the symbol appeared down in the sand. And I was like just watching this. And then he did another symbol with the horn, and it appeared in the sand. So, like God said, let there be light, the sound went out and created light. And then he created, the firmament, and then he created the planets and all of the different solar systems and everything in the universe. Now, the reason I bring this up is it just took the energy, the vibration of light and sound to create all of this. And so we need to be very aware of the light and sound we are projecting out, because we are creating in every moment of our lives. And the reason I brought this up was this morning, the Creator said, you just use a thought, an intent, and create whatever you desire. Just make sure it's in the love consciousness or a higher emotion, and you can create these things. So I have no doubt that we are being taught how to be creators and how to create our future. Now, the Creator is love, and that was reiterated. The Creator created this universe because of the love for us, and gave us that love to create everything. Now, sometimes we don't create through love. We create through jealousy, avarice, whatever it is. And when we do that, we fall out from the love consciousness because we're choosing not to create in the love consciousness. So it's very important we maintain ourselves in that greatest commandment to love ourselves and love others. because as we love ourselves, we'll treat everybody else better.